Technology usually creeps up on us slowly. Beat. But sometimes it kicks the door down.
Yeah, it really does.
I was pondering this pace of change recently.
Yeah.
We woke up on March 5th, 2026, to a very different reality.
A completely wild reality.
Right. OpenAI dropped an update that doesn't just answer your questions.
Yeah.
It actually takes control of your mouths to do your digital chores. Welcome to the deep dive.
I have been waiting for this one. We are unpacking the massive GPT 5.4 ChatGPT update today.
It is a fundamental shift. We are moving past chatbots entirely.
Absolutely.
That is our mission for you today. We will cover the brand new model lineup first.
And we'll explore how the system acts as a professional desk worker.
We'll also look at its wild new ability to see. It can actually use your computer like a human would.
Plus, we are diving into its coding chops.
And finally, we will break down the real-world costs and safety implications.
Let's jump right in.
Let's start by meeting the new models. If you logged in recently, you probably noticed the confusing name.
Oh, very confusing. The version numbers jump around quite a bit.
There's no 5.3 thinking model at all.
Nope. They went straight from the old baseline to 5.4.
It feels like a skip step. But it signals a massive architectural leap.
Yeah, the lineup itself is actually very focused now. You have 3 main versions.
First up is GPT 5.3 Instant.
Right, and that model is built for pure speed. It gives you an answer immediately.
You hit enter, and the text is just there.
Almost zero latency.
I find it perfect for those quick, everyday questions, like asking for a recipe or doing some basic fact-checking.
It doesn't spend computing power pondering deeply. It just reacts.
It's your quick reflex. But then you have the star of the show.
GPT 5.4 Thinking.
This model actually pauses to reason before answering complex queries. Beat, it maps out a logical path.
You literally see a small box indicating it's thinking.
That brief pause changes the quality of the answer entirely. It stops treating words like a predictive text game.
Exactly. It acts more like a strategist. And for the heavy lifters, there is GPT 5.4 Pro.
You do need a Pro or Enterprise plan to access this one.
Yeah, it takes the longest to process, but it delivers absolute peak accuracy for deep research.
Most of you will probably rely on auto mode, though.
Auto mode is the practical choice.
Think of it like an automatic transmission in a car. It shifts gears for you based on the road ahead.
It takes that a step further, really. It's not just shifting gears, it's deciding if you need a bicycle or a freight train.
Right. You ask a simple math question, it uses instant.
You ask for a 10-page mark analysis, it shifts into thinking.
I am looking at these 3 tiers, and I have to ask, does auto mode actually save you time in the long run?
Yes, it takes the right brain power so you don't have to guess.
That friction removal is key. Let's shift into how this impacts professional work.
OpenAI focused heavily on knowledge work with this release. Managing data, rating emails, building presentations.
They ran a rigorous benchmark called the GDP-Val test.
Right. This test measures how well the AI performs jobs that human professionals do.
We're talking about complex accounting or sales roles.
The results were genuinely striking.
GPT 5.4 matched or beat human pros 83% of the time. 2-sec silence. That isn't just a slight improvement.
No, that is a structural shift in corporate capability. It changes the hiring landscape entirely.
Think about spreadsheets. If you spend half your week formatting raw data, this changes your life.
The source highlighted a specific, highly complicated example. You feed it a messy list of sales data.
Data that is unformatted, missing columns, and full of weird date strings.
Yeah, the worst kind of data. You ask it to find the trends. You ask for the best-selling product.
Then you ask for a prediction for next month based on a 5% growth rate.
It handles the math flawlessly. It runs the regression without complaining.
But here's the kicker. It formats it as an Excel-ready table.
Plus, there is now a direct ChatGPT for Excel plugin.
That plugin is huge. Context switching kills productivity. If you leave Excel to use a chatbot, you lose focus. Now, you use the model directly inside your sheets.
The days of endlessly copy-pasting back and forth are over. It transforms you from a data entry clerk into a manager.
And it isn't just raw data. It creates full presentations in minutes.
You ask it to research a topic like the future of solar energy.
You prompt it to generate a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation. You ask for professional tone.
And you make sure it includes rigorous academic citations.
It doesn't just give you the text. It builds the actual file for you to download.
The designs are incredibly sharp now, too. They use clean, modern colors and solid typography.
And if you hate the design, You don't have to start over.
Nope, you just tell it, make it more modern and minimalist.
It rebuilds the entire thing in minutes.
Yeah.
But dealing with neat examples is one thing. Can it handle genuinely chaotic, unformatted data?
Absolutely, it cleans it up and formats it perfectly for Excel.
This brings us to what might be the real breakthrough. 2-sec silence, AI, with built-in computer use.
This is the mind-blowing part of the update. It doesn't just give you advice anymore.
It actually acts on your behalf.
Right. It writes code to run your machine, or it visually navigates screenshots.
Think about that IS World Verified score. It hit 75.0% on desktop use.
Beating the human score of 72.4%, and absolutely crushing the old GPT 5.2.
Which sat at just 47.3%.
It can look at a messy desktop and find an invoice perfectly.
When you look at web browsing, the Mind2 web test is fascinating.
It finished complex tasks just by looking at browser screenshots with 92.8% accuracy.
It doesn't need a special API to talk to a website. It just looks at the screen like we do.
We also have to mention Agentic web search. On the BrowseComp test, the Pro model scored 89.3%.
It excels at those painful needle-in-a-haystack tasks, finding that one tiny buried piece of information on a chaotic website.
It works because its upgraded vision is incredible. The MMMU Pro test proves it.
Scoring 81.2% on complex photos and scientific charts.
And on Omnidoc Bench, it reads PDFs with a tiny 0.11 error rate.
It can process images at an original detail level of 10.24 million pixels. That is a 6,000 pixel dimension.
It spots tiny 10-pixel buttons it used to miss entirely.
I still wrestle with the idea of letting an AI freely click around my personal desktop.
I completely understand that hesitation. Handing over the mouse feels unnatural.
Very unnatural.
But there are serious safety rules built into the architecture. You can guide it with specific, limiting messages.
With all this capability, I have to wonder, is it safe to let it click around your private files?
You set strict rules, and it asks permission before taking risks.
We will be right back after a quick word. Sponsor.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Before the break, we talked about how GPT 5.4 can navigate your desktop. But what if the software you need doesn't exist yet?
That is where this update fundamentally changes how we build things. It's a massive deal for developers.
The main GPT 5.4 model fully absorbed the old Codex tool. It is now native.
And it's just as good as that specialized model ever was.
It achieves much higher accuracy, and it does it in a fraction of the time.
The iteration loop for software engineering is collapsing. GPT 5.2 used to take nearly 2,000 seconds to hit its best accuracy.
Now you get better results in about half that time. It starts smarter and stays ahead as it thinks.
This enables a wild concept called vibe coding.
You don't need to know C++ anymore. You just describe what you want, and the AI builds it from scratch.
The source highlighted building a 3D highway racing game using a single prompt.
It generated a complete HTML and JavaScript file instantly.
It included a car selection screen with 3 colors. It added moving traffic,
A nitro boost, and a real damage system. It even added professional details like street lamps and trees.
The code was long and incredibly complex, but the physics actually felt real.
If you can do that in 30 seconds, the barrier to entry for game design just dropped to 0.
And if you are using the API, there's a new /fast mode. It makes code generation 1.5 times faster with no quality loss.
It saves you from waiting for hundreds of lines of boilerplate code. But the biggest shift is the context window.
It jumped from the standard 272K tokens to an experimental 1 million tokens.
The context window is the AI's short-term memory for tracking your current conversation and files.
Whoa, imagine feeding it a whole library of code and it remembers line 1.
It changes everything about debugging. It can hold your entire project architecture in its head.
It sees all your files at the same time to find hidden mistakes.
But with all that processing power, does using that massive 1 million context window cost more?
Yes, requests over the standard limit eat usage at double speed.
We had to look at the broader rivalry here. How does this compare to competitors like Claude 4.6 and Gemini 3.1?
It's a very close race right now.
GPT 5.4 clearly wins on knowledge work, overall speed, and computer use.
That built-in desktop interaction is incredibly advanced compared to the rest.
But to be fair to the source, Claude still sounds more natural.
Yeah, GPT 5.4 can sometimes feel a bit robotic when writing blogs or creative essays. It lacks a certain warmth.
That is a fair critique. And Gemini remains highly creative for marketing and storytelling.
The constant back and forth between these companies is great for users, though. It forces rapid innovation.
Let's talk about pricing. Because this power isn't free.
No, it is not.
For Plus users paying $20 a month, you get 5.3 instant and 5.4 thinking.
Pro requires a much higher enterprise tier. There were some launch day message limit bugs frustrating users.
But those usually clear up quickly as they scale their servers.
For API developers building apps, the tokens do cost a bit more upfront. It's $2.50 in and $15 out per 1 million tokens.
But you actually save up to 47% overall.
The new tool search feature is a brilliant cost-saving measure.
In the past, the AI had to read every single tool definition for every single request.
It was like reading the entire dictionary just to spell one word.
Now it only looks up the specific tool it needs. In tests, that dropped usage from 123K tokens down to just 65K tokens. So are overall API costs actually going down for developers?
Smarter tool search means fewer tokens, offsetting the higher base price.
On the safety front, the AI relies heavily on reinforcement learning.
Which is crucial.
Reinforcement learning is checking its own work and trying different paths to find answers.
Exactly. It grades its own homework before showing you the final result.
And its internal thoughts are fully transparent to OpenAI.
It can't hide its reasoning from human oversight. That prevents it from executing malicious logic.
Let's leave you with a few pro tips for your daily workflow. The first is mid-response redirection.
This workflow is absolute magic. You don't have to hit the stop button anymore if it goes off track.
It's like steering a horse while you're already galloping.
If it's writing a long report and you realize you forgot an instruction, you just type it.
You say, focus on environmental impact right while it is generating text.
And it pivots instantly. It just adapts the text on the fly without missing a beat.
You don't lose the good parts it already wrote. Do I have to wait for it to finish typing completely?
Nope, just interrupt mid-sentence and it pivots its thoughts instantly.
You can also adjust its thinking effort in the settings menu. You have standard and heavy options.
Leave it on standard for 90% of your daily tasks. It's fast, incredibly smart, and handles routine logic perfectly.
But crank it up to heavy for deep math or nasty coding bugs.
It might take 5 to 8 minutes to answer.
It's beat. Think about what an 8-minute AI thought process looks like. It yields master-level results.
It really does.
Let's take a step back and look at the big idea here. 2-sec silence. This update fundamentally shifts what this tool actually is. It's no longer just a superpowered search engine. It has become a true desktop partner.
And the ultimate metric we are talking about is time. You are compressing an hour of tedious spreadsheet wrangling into minutes.
You're turning a day of hunting down code bugs into 10 minutes of simple oversight.
Exactly.
If this AI can now flawlessly look at your screen, interpret the buttons, and navigate your desktop better than most humans.
How long until we stop needing traditional operating systems and screens altogether?
What happens when the AI becomes the entire interface? Pause for effect.
That is wild to think about. It changes the whole paradigm of human-computer interaction.
For now, try this out yourself. Pick one tedious task you do every single week.
Just see if GPT 5.4 thinking can do the first draft for you.
You might be surprised by how much your daily workflow changes. Thanks for exploring this deep dive with us.
Catch you next time.